What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Rambling Men Sports Podcast. You may see a familiar face with us. James is back. I pulled him out of hiatus, and he resurfaces with us. I'm actually kind of surprised. We have a few football topics, but not a lot of football topics, and that's what you said you wanted to discuss when you came back. But we do have some big news. But first of all, James, how are you doing?
I'm good. I am good.
It's good to have you back. It's not the same when you're not here, and we talked about that. I kept asking you, gotta have you on, you gotta come back, and you're like, I'm going to, and I said, well, no, that's not what it was. I asked you if you were coming on for one of the weeks. You didn't, and I said, if you're not, I'm willing to do this by myself, and you took that as I'm kicking you off the show. And I was like, oh, shoot, no, I didn't mean that. But yeah. So let's get down to it. I was expecting more of a laugh. Anyway, so big news. You're good. All right. Okay, so big news this week in the NBA. Kawhi Leonard got traded to the Toronto Raptors, I believe, yesterday, but 2 days ago, since this will air Friday. That's pretty big, considering not only a top 5 player got moved, but also Toronto gave up DeMar DeRozan to get him in the process. What do you think about this?
It was like probably one of the most random trades I can ever remember, like ever almost in any sport. Like two big, pretty much superstar. I would say they're both. DeMar DeRozan's at least a star, and Kawhi Leonard is a bona fide top 5 player. I don't even know, man. Like, I don't think I do think the Spurs made out like as well as they could, because they were going to have to move Kawhi anyway, and they got DeMar DeRozan out of it, which was better than anyone they could have got from the Lakers.
Yep.
Or the Clippers for that matter. So that was good, but like I don't know what Toronto's plan is. I don't know if they are trying to pull a Paul George situation, or if they're going to move him to LA, just try to get another good ball.
Maybe. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought you were done, but maybe. I did hear someone say that they could potentially flip him at some point this season.
Yo, do you hear that?
What?
I think your fan is like blowing into the
Yeah, I moved it. I'll turn it off. I'm sweating. The AC's off. Okay. All right. So yeah. Yeah, I heard they could potentially flip him. I don't know if it's right now, maybe at the trade deadline in the season. I feel like they would at least give it a chance with him and Lowry. But I think you're right. This was incredibly random. We heard this whole process. It was going to be probably the Lakers, Sixers, or Celtics. And once it was done with the Lakers, I was like, he's not going there, at least not right now. Then Boston backed out, and then Philly was the one I thought they got the assets. They're going to give him up. Not that they're desperate, but they need a guy like him on the wing. And I thought for sure they'd give up the assets for him.
What hurts about that is San Antonio would have gladly traded Kawhi to us, but the Raptors won't.
Yeah.
There's no way we're getting him now.
Yeah,
when he leaves Toronto, not if, but when he leaves Toronto, he's going to go to LA, whether it's Clippers or the Lakers.
Yeah, whenever he becomes a free agent, which I think he still has 2 more years on his deal, but he can opt out after this one. Is that the deal?
No, this is it?
This
year coming up is his last year.
Okay, I didn't know that. But yeah, big news. And so the official word is Spurs trade Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green for DeMar DeRozan. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this name. Some dude I've never heard of. And a 2019 first-round pick. Apparently, DeRozan was very upset on Instagram. I meant to read what all he said in his story. I didn't read it. Did you?
I mean, apparently the GM of the Raptors, 2 weeks ago, adamantly told him he was not going to be traded.
I heard that too.
He was traded. But it was for Kawhi Leonard. I mean, obviously, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be butthurt about it. That's just a sucky situation. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that, they had to try to get a player that good. So,
yeah. Once I heard the rumors, again, we're back to how this was so random. Once I heard the rumors that the Raptors ran on, I was like, they don't have anything.
Exactly. I still didn't think that was going to happen.
Not Windhorse. It was Wojnarowski was like, they're all in. They're trying to get him. I said, unless they give up one of their guys, they're not going to do it, and they're not going to give up DeRozan or Lowry. And sure enough, they did. But we actually talked about it via text. I think we just said, how weird is it that they traded away DeRozan, who I believe is locked up for another 2 to 3, 4 years. I don't remember. He signed a contract not that long ago. I want to say it was 4 or 5 year deal, and I don't think he's that far into it. For essentially a rental, Kawhi Leonard, either whether it's we talked about it, but whether it's for a year or 2, I'm not sure. But he likely will not stay in Toronto.
They better hope they can coax him into staying. That's all I can say.
Well, we thought the same thing about Paul George. We were like, oh, he's for sure leaving the Lakers, and he ends up wanting to stay in OKC. So.
Yeah, but I don't think Paul George ever, openly said. Paul George signed with OKC. He didn't get traded, right? No, he did get traded.
No, he got traded there. He signed there just a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Maybe. I don't know.
But then Kawhi Leonard also says he has no desire to play for Toronto. So
that could change, though. Who knows?
I think he already came out and said, no, I want to play in Toronto, but I think that's just damage control, try to make your image look better.
Yeah.
Also, well, one more thing. I guess poll question. I meant to, before I forget, there was another NBA story about Carmelo Anthony that we needed to discuss.
That's so irrelevant. Who even
I
cares?
know. Do you think it was a good deal for Toronto to acquire Kawhi Leonard, who is soon to be a free agent, while giving up DeMar DeRozan in the process? I'm going to say no. I don't know about you, James. I know you stepped away. But I'm going to say no to that. Poll question, did you hear me?
Yeah, I think it was worth the risk.
Do you? I don't. I mean, even with Kawhi, I don't think they're going anywhere.
For 2 reasons. One, they can, like I said, they can try to do the Paul George thing. That works out. It worked out perfect. You got a top 4 player in the NBA. If it doesn't, you'll probably know that by the trade deadline, by how he's acting and just how he's feeling around and if you're getting a bad vibe, he's definitely not going to stay, then you can trade him at the trade deadline and still get a lot for him.
That's true.
You can kind of sit on the fence for at least a few months. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you with that. I just.
I didn't finish my point either. The second reason is because DeMar DeRozan's kind of overrated. He's just a 2 guard. That's not, in my opinion, that valuable of a position. It's good to have a good one, but it's not that valuable of a position.
No. I think Cowherd.
I think Pop will use him well, though. He'll probably his stats might go up a little or something.
I could see that too. But Cowherd, I didn't realize just how overrated I guess DeRozan is, and he's a solid player. Don't get me wrong, but I think Cowherd said today he's a 29% free 3-point shooter and a 23% 3-point shooter in the playoffs. So, in a shooter's league, that's just not a good combination.
When you're a shooting guard.
Yeah, and a shooting guard. And he still scores sometimes 30 a night, and he's not really shooting very many 3-pointers. So it's all 2s. But yeah, solid player. I don't understand giving him up to get Kawhi. I understand your logic, but I feel like they're still trying to chase the Celtics and the Lakers.
I think worst case scenario, they can get 3 first-round picks out of losing DeMar DeRozan because they got one for trading him.
Yeah.
And then I think the Clippers would give up 2 first-rounders for Kawhi.
I don't know about the Clippers, but somebody would.
Well,
I was just thinking, are Philly, Boston, and Toronto all in the same division? I think they are.
Yeah, they are.
So yeah, they're not trading him to either of those teams.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going, even though we could probably give them the best package. That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. But so I mentioned it, and you said it's irrelevant news. You're not wrong, but Carmelo Anthony did get traded just a few hours ago to the Atlanta Hawks. I haven't really even read it because it said right afterward he's going to be waived, and I was like, okay, well then why did you trade for him?
Fuck Anthony, dude. He's a bum.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think the Hawks even gave up a first-round pick to get him, and then they're just going to waive him. It doesn't make any sense.
So where are they? That doesn't make sense. What do you mean they waived him?
I don't know. Let me check that again.
But no, we're not spending time on Carmelo Anthony. He joined the Hawks. Everybody, it's not a good move for either of them. The Hawks are going to suck. Carmelo Anthony's going to suck on the Hawks.
He's not going to play for the Hawks.
More money than he was worth. I think I saw that it was like $13 million or something.
They're releasing him anyway, and he's likely going to go to Houston.
That's terrible.
I don't understand it. I guess OKC wanted to get rid of him that bad.
Houston shouldn't get him.
All right.
Let's to some NFL, baby.
Yes, NFL. Big week. The long-term contract deadline for franchise tag recipients was this week. I don't remember Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Monday because I'm pretty sure we texted about it. But yeah, so the players that were involved were Ziggy Ansah, Le'Veon Bell, LaMarcus Joyner, and DeMarcus Lawrence. Some pretty good players in there, but the biggest name is obviously Le'Veon Bell. But I should also mention none of these players got a long-term deal from their clubs. But Le'Veon Bell being the biggest name, and actually I'm looking at it here. The Le'Veon Bell's final offer from the Steelers was 5 years, $70 million, worth more than $30 million over 2 years. So that's over a guaranteed $15 million in 2 years. And then last year their offer was 5 years, $60 million. So they went up, but Bell declined it, I guess. What do you think?
As for the franchise tagging, I would have pretty much franchise tagged all of them except Le'Veon Bell, and they offered him a long-term deal. I'll get to that in a sec. None of the other people that you just mentioned have ever strung together multiple good seasons. So
I remember when that news broke. I thought the same thing. Again, we're gonna get into more with Le'Veon Bell, but I thought the same thing with DeMarcus Lawrence. I was like, he's had injuries. This was like his first really big year. I think his rookie season he had 8 sacks, and then like the 2 seasons in between, I think he was hurt, didn't do much, and then this year he puts tallies 12 or 14 sacks, had a big year.
14 and a half.
Yeah, it was a huge year. I don't blame Dallas at all for being like, we're not ready to pay you just yet. And he's a pass rusher. People pay for pass rushers. If he balls out again, they are 100% going to pay for him.
I think it's worth it for him to do too, because he can get a really fat paycheck this year, and if he repeats last year, he will get he'll get like $70 million guaranteed somewhere.
And
even Dallas.
What was I just saying? Like you said, it's a fair deal to him too. Look, you've kind of been uncertain, but we're still willing to give you this guaranteed contract. Yeah, I don't know what the franchise tag is worth for a defensive end. I'd say it's close to $16, $18, $20 million.
I bet you it's at least $15-16 million bucks.
Yeah, I agree easily.
As for Le'Veon, I think, dude, the fact that he turned down 5 years, $70 million is kind of ridiculous to me. Depending on how the deal is structured, if it's back heavy, then I don't blame him. But if it's front heavy, then it's like, dude, $14 million a year for a running back is more than fair. I know you can catch. If he was spotless off the field, just like absolutely spotless, never been hurt, never been arrested, never been suspended, maybe he can get up to like $16 million. But like, dude, the other top running back, like you can't get almost double what they're making. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know, dude. I think $14 million a year is more than fair. I think he should have signed that while he could. And unless he wants to go to a team that sucks, that'll pay him that.
Yeah.
There will be a team like that. A team like the Lions or something will pay him that much money, and then he'll go there and they'll suck. So,
yeah, my friend William, who has been on the show, my friend William, and I love my friend William dearly. I think he's incredibly misinformed about the value of other positions. He says, Odell Beckham Jr. is totally worth $20 million. I'm like, no, he is not.
No. Dude, I can tell you one reason I tried to, because Artis said the same thing. I can explain to you why that's not true. Like, dude, tops, you're getting 6 to 8 touches a game if you're a wide receiver. And that's like a all-pro, first-team all-pro season. Like, you're not worth $20 million a season for touching the ball 120 times, dude. Like, no.
And so he said the same thing about Le'Veon Bell. When the deadline passed and they didn't reach a deal, he said, Steelers are dumb. I'd 100% play Bell that much. I'm like, no, I would not.
But at least Bell does touch the ball like
I know.
35 times a game. wide receiver doesn't do that. You can't give a wide receiver $20 million. That's absurd.
Yeah. Just market value for a running back is less than $10 million. I think the highest paid is Devontae Freeman last I checked, and he's making about $8.25 million a year. That's market value. And the fact he wants $14 million, okay, but the Steelers offered him that. They offered him $14 million per year, $30 million over 2 years. So that's $15 million guaranteed right there. Now, it won't be structured that way, likely, but I just don't understand what he wants. And I just don't think – I'm not sure he'll get a better deal than that from a winning team.
Exactly my point. Somebody that, like the Bucks would give him that.
Yeah.
And they'd suck. He'd go there and they'd suck.
Yeah, like Belichick's not paying $14 million for a running back. And that's the other thing. Running backs, the reason why running backs are so devalued is, one, they last about 3 years. A decent running back comes in, he might have a year or two. Look at Eddie Lacy, where he's really good. You think, oh, they have their running back for the future. He has a huge drop-off. And, one, you can almost find a running back in every single draft class that can come in and just, give you 800 to 1,100 yards and just be a solid, stable option.
There's like 6 to 7 starting backs in every draft.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at Kareem Hunt. They found him in the 3rd round, and he's a stud.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
Straight beast.
You can find a running back in the draft. I would let these dudes walk in a heartbeat. Maybe not Le'Veon Bell. He is pretty good. I wouldn't pay him $14 million.
I hear you, brother.
But so this brings us to a poll question. Do you think Le'Veon Bell will be with another team next season?
I think he will be on the Steelers this year, a different team next year.
That's what I meant, next year.
So you mean 2020?
Yes. Well, no, 2019.
Oh, no, I think he'll be on the Steelers still.
In 2019?
Yeah. Oh, no, okay. So that is – I don't know why I said 2020. Yeah, 2019 he will not be on the Steelers. No.
I don't think so either.
No.
They can only franchise him twice. They've done that. So they have to come up with an extension because they can't franchise tag him again this offseason. Unless they come up with more money, I think he is out of town. And the Steelers are a team that the last few years have struggled with cap room. They are always either in the red or they're in the red and have to free up a bunch by the time the offseason rolls around, or they're about $10 million in cap space. They struggle with that.
I was listening to a Barstool podcast earlier, and they
oh my god, it's so hot.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
They called him going to the Redskins.
The Redskins would pay him that.
Yeah. They did describe Geis, though. If he's nice, they won't. But if he
Yeah,
ends up bust,
Geis.
they will.
I was just thinking of other teams. The Bengals, maybe.
Colts.
I don't think the Colts would. Not with this new GM.
Yeah. Ballard.
Yeah. The
The
Bucks is a good one. I think the Bucks would pay him that.
With the Jets. Or
Maybe.
like the Titans.
They got Derrick Henry.
Okay.
The Lions is a good one, I think. Again, and most teams have their running back. I'm trying to think of guys.
Dude, most teams are not going to pay $16 million for a running back.
Yeah. I agree. But so let's get into something kind of more comical. So I saw this today, and Barstool ran with it, and I texted it to you. I was like, we got to run this. So according to TMZ Sports, Jimmy Garoppolo went on a date with porn star Kiara Mia. I'm not even sure who she is. I saw the picture.
I know exactly who she was.
Do you? I've never watched her stuff. Dude,
that's what makes it so funny is that she's not like a top porn star, famous, but she's not you know what I mean? Dude, it's Jimmy G. Come on, bro.
I might watch her stuff tonight. Who knows?
And you're taking out 40-year-old dude. I don't even want to say this on camera. I don't blame him for doing what he's doing, but don't take her out to dinner where everyone can take a picture of you, you asshole. Yeah. You know what I mean? Do your Tiger Woods thing. Take her to the hotel. Do what you got to do. But why are you out? He paid for that dinner because she didn't. Because he's loaded.
Yes. Yeah, and especially after signing his big contract.
That's what I'm saying. Come on, Jimmy.
But
Jimmy could have any chick.
And that was what I was gonna say. But anyways, we continue, but both were seen leaving the Avra restaurant together in Beverly Hills. Assumptions swirl. I'm afraid to even say this, but assumptions are swirling that the date ended with a blowjob.
What do you think the whole thing ended with? Like,
well, so I have a picture here. The reason why I say this, there's a picture, and I actually went to her Instagram to see if it was still in her story. She got rid of it, but there's a picture from her Instagram story with a filter that says yes, YASSS, and then what time is it when she pulls the scrunchie off her wrist to put her hair up. This was after she had a post on her story that said date night in the same outfit she was seen with Jimmy Garoppolo. So, again, I think we're both on the same page. We're not judging here. Do what you got to do, man. I don't really care. But don't be, that's just a bad look for a franchise quarterback to be seen in a nice restaurant like that with a fairly prominent porn star. Like you said, she's not one of the known ones, but she's pretty known.
Like I said, I knew who she was.
I did not. I'm not familiar with her work.
When I heard that name, I was like, no shit. Like, he was with fucking Matt. He was with her. Like, I thought it was funny as shit.
Another thing that's interesting is that, well, no, I just realized she probably didn't get into it very young. But she's 41. He's 26. She got started 9 years ago. So the timeline adds up. She would have been in her 30s. He would have been about 17. How much you want to bet he found her when he was about 17 or 18 and was like, this girl's awesome, and, now that he's a rock star, found her, asked her on a date, and hooked up with her.
Probably. Can't do my phone for eating.
Yeah, I'm not judging. Lord knows I have my issues. But, like you said, do your Tiger Woods thing, man. Got to keep it secret. You can't be seen out in public like that. And this is kind of our poll question. If Carson Wentz was seen with Brandy Love or Lisa Ann, would that worry you? Would you be excited about that? Or
hold on. If he was with Lisa Ann, I would be hyped. First of all, but, dude, Carson Wentz is a man of God. That would never happen. Don't you ever even say that ever again in your life.
Dude, you know I love Carson Wentz. Every time you post about him, I reply with the GOAT emoji.
He's the man. He's the GOAT.
But yeah, so poll question, would you care if the starting quarterback of your favorite team went on a date with a porn star? I really probably wouldn't. If I'm in the front office, I would.
Not if he plays well, but yeah.
Yeah, if I'm in the front office, I would. I'd be like, yeah, man, this is a problem.
Yeah, that wasn't a good look for the Niners. No way.
I agree. So that's kind of it for football, unless you got something else you want to mention. I know we're going to talk about it later with our final thoughts. Anything else you saw today before we move on? I know you're a football guy. And I don't want you to come on and not talk enough about football.
I want to ask your opinion on this because I asked all the guys earlier. I'm in like a chat with the kids I'm in a fantasy league with. And I asked them earlier, and I want to know who you would take in their prime, AP or LT. The running back, not the linebacker.
Oh, yeah. I figured. I don't remember. I knew LT's pretty good, obviously.
Dude.
No,
LT.
I don't remember him being.
He was a 99 in Madden. That's all you need to know.
Was he?
Yes.
I remember him being good. I never really thought he was that great. Kind of like Marshawn Lynch. I never really thought Marshawn Lynch was that good until he got to Seattle.
He had 27. He broke the touchdown record. LaDainian Tomlinson did.
That was 1 year. I hear you. I don't know. I'd take AP. I'm an NFC North guy. I grew up watching the Packers and playing Adrian Peterson twice a year for 5, 6, 7, 8 seasons. I'm not sure. I'd probably go with AP, but obviously LT's a Hall of Famer as well and had a pretty good career. I don't know. Would you take LT?
Adrian Peterson can't catch.
Could LT could throw in those Wildcats.
I could catch too. But I want to get to this Manny Machado thing.
Yes. So now baseball, big trade, like with Kawhi. Big trade happened this week. I think it was right after the All-Star game. Manny Machado, Baltimore Orioles, third baseman / shortstop, traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is very interesting, and this was actually a team that my friend Steven, who you've met, he's been on the show plenty of times. He's our baseball guy. Came on, and we were talking about potential spots for Manny Machado, and he said the Los Angeles Dodgers after they lost Corey Seager, and sure enough, here they are trading for Manny Machado, trying to stay in that playoff hunt. But I want to get your thoughts. I know you are a baseball guy, and you're a Phillies fan, and they were trying hard to get Machado as well.
I'm pissed. One more big bat in the lineup. We could have been right in the thick of things. We are, we have like the third best record in the NL right now. But I still think Philly has a chance at him this offseason. I think the Phillies have a little bit more financial flexibility than the Dodgers. Like, we pretty much can write Bryce Harper or Manny Machado a blank check. Apparently, we could pay both of them really big contracts. I read like an article today that like apparently that's like a real thing. They're gonna actually try to go after both of them. Doubt they'll land both of them. They might not land one of them, but I still do think they have a chance. We have a pretty young roster that pretty much nobody knows most of the players on the team, and they still have like 52 wins right now.
I know Rhys Hoskins. He was in the home run derby.
Rhys Hoskins is a big bat. Odubel Herrera.
Crawford
was tearing it up the beginning of the year. He kind of cooled down, but a lot of players have had good bats lately. Aaron Nola is going to be the best pitcher in baseball in like 2 years. I'm just letting everyone know.
Just so you know, if they sign Harper and Machado, that really becomes less likely they get your boy Mike Trout.
Oh, I know that.
I say that because you've said it for as long as I've known you. Mike Trout's going to play for the Phillies.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, if we don't get anyone, which is a chance, like Mike Trout, when it comes up time, because he's not going to stay in LA his whole career. They're not doing shit.
Yeah. They just spent a ton of money this offseason, and they're about 500.
Yeah, he's going to come to the Phillies.
Yeah. I agree. I think he could end his career with the Phillies. But yeah, this is very interesting now. Now that we're talking about the Phillies, I think this was a big year for Philly. I didn't know they were that financially I don't know what the right word is, but I didn't know they had that much money to spend this coming off season. So I think this year was pretty big for them to show that, hey, we got some young talent, we're good. Why not come here and try to win some games?
You don't know anyone on the roster, so no one's making any money.
I mean, in terms of Bryce Harper, aside from pitching, do you think the Phillies roster is better than the Nationals?
Absolutely not. Not even close.
No, I said close. Aside from pitching.
I know.
You don't think so? I think it might be.
No, the Nationals have a way better roster.
I don't know. Who's good on the Nationals?
Hitting-wise?
Hitting-wise.
Bryce Harper is all I need to say.
Okay, well, I meant obviously Bryce Harper is great. Aside from him, who else they got?
Ryan Zimmerman.
He's all right.
Andrelton Simmons.
I thought he played for
Braves. I'm tripping.
Yeah, I thought he played for the Angels.
Doesn't Dan Wilson still play for the Nationals?
I don't know that name. I know Anthony Rendon, Trey Turner, Adam Eaton. All those guys are decent. Daniel Murphy's okay.
Yeah, but like I said, you couldn't name 3 players on the Phillies.
All right. I'll give that to you. I got ahead of myself. But so I think this is now interesting, and this is now our poll. Well, I should mention the deal first. So the Dodgers get Machado. Orioles get the Dodgers number 4, number 27, and number 28 prospects, and a right-handed pitcher. I thought no. The Dodgers sent one to the the Orioles sent one more player to the Dodgers. Okay, because it was a 5-player deal. I was expecting a better haul, if I'm being honest. Number 4, number 27, and number 28 prospects.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
Number 4, yeah, I expected maybe another top 10 prospect. Machado's only 26 and probably the best shortstop in the AL. Now the NL.
Yeah.
But so this makes it very interesting because now the Dodgers have Machado, Seager, Justin Turner, and Max Muncy, who are all infielders. Muncy is kind of like a utility player, bounces around first base, second base, third base. Seager's their very young shortstop. I think he's 23, 24 years old. Got hurt this year, out for the year. Very talented. And then Justin Turner is their veteran third baseman who was hitting about 380 last year for the majority of the season. Very good power bat. But now they have a decision to make this offseason whether or not to keep Machado. What do you think?
I want them to go to the Phillies, so hopefully they don't. We need a shortstop. We got a black hole with shortstop ever since Rollins left.
Yeah. But I actually, I don't know. Just Machado, Muncy, Seager, Turner. The Dodgers have money too. I could potentially see them looking at Turner maybe and being like, you're kind of getting up there. I don't think he's that old, but I don't know what his contract situation is either. But maybe being like, you know what, we got an upgrade compared to you. And Machado, we can slide him over back to third base. When Seager comes back healthy, we can move him back to short. He can remain at shortstop, and then Muncy, Bellinger, and whoever else plays first base. I don't know about you, but I think that could potentially happen.
We'll see.
It could. Machado could just leave town. I just think that's an interesting situation with the Dodgers.
I do too.
They got a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
So more baseball news. We got a lot of baseball now. Big news over the weekend, though.
Huh?
I said big news over the weekend. Mike Matheny out as the St. Louis Cardinals manager. I was kind of surprised. I remember, like I said, my friend Steven mentioned this. He's a big Cardinals fan, that the Cardinals fans were getting unhappy with him. He's managed St. Louis since 2012, 5 playoff appearances, 3 NL Central pennants. I'm sorry, not NL Central. No, that's not right. 3 NLCS appearances and a World Series appearance, fired midseason. Very surprising. The Cardinals are one of those teams I don't think had fired a manager midseason since like the 80s or 70s, 90s, something like that. They've always had a dude and let him go in the classy way after the season. What are your thoughts?
You know how I feel about firings in pro sports. Like, if you don't know you have someone better, then you don't fire them. And I don't think they do.
The rumor is now Girardi. Girardi is retired, potentially could come back.
If that's the case, then maybe.
That's an interesting. He left the Yankees. I don't know. Maybe he was tired of New York. Very high pressure, media's crazy media. Go to St. Louis, kind of a smaller market, still a prominent franchise. I'd say the second best franchise in Major League Baseball in terms of winning. Yeah, and they got the money to get him, and I think he actually finished his career with the Cardinals. So I think that's an interesting potential candidate.
Yeah, agreed.
And then, do you think it was a good decision? I think you already touched up on this. You say no.
No, I don't.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't think – I'm going to say no, too. I'm not sure all of the Cardinals' problems the last few years has been Matheny. I mean, you got to look at the front office, I think, too. They spent all that money to get Dexter Fowler, and he's hitting 160, 170 for them this season. Just not what you expect for a guy you're paying that much money. Ozuna's kind of worked out. He's hitting about 270. That's about his range. Big bat. Their pitching has been kind of disappointing. But I'm just not sure Matheny's to blame. I don't know what you think.
Agree. No, I agree. Exactly.
All right, so more trade deadline stuff to watch. I just named some players here. We don't have to touch up on this too much. But Brad Hand, the relief pitcher for the San Diego Padres, was traded to the Cleveland Indians today. He just was on the NL All-Star Game roster. Having a pretty good year. I think that's interesting for the Indians. You can never – I've always felt you can never go wrong with getting starters and relievers in today's game.
Agreed. I did find it interesting that you said that DeGrom and Syndergaard might be on the old market there. Yeah,
that's been a rumor since like May, and I think even the Mets have come out and said it's not happening, but the rumors are still out there. I wouldn't either. Those are two dudes that you build your franchise around. And but the rumors are still swirling. I think Sandy Alderson was the one who said they're not trading them, and he recently just took a leave of absence, I think, to focus on his health. I don't remember. But so maybe someone else is in charge now, and he has the authority to trade these guys on a whim. Who knows? But some other big names. One name in particular, Wilson Ramos. He's having a big year for the Tampa Bay Rays. I remember the Houston Astros were targeting him, and he just got put on the DL through July 1st, so he can't be traded before. I believe that's the rule. He can't be traded through the All-Star or through the trade deadline. And then any other of these, Matt Harvey's another one I think that's interesting. my family are a bunch of Reds fans, and he joined the Reds with an ERA of 7, and then has since joining the Reds, he's had an ERA of 3.64. I think this is easily grounds to be like, oh, hey, we've turned him around. Let's send him to a contender.
Yeah, that's probably what they'll do. I feel bad for the poor little Reds.
Yeah, I mean they're hot right now, man. I think they were like 21-9 in their last 30 games.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they're hot. Here's one for you. The Phillies. I missed this one. Phillies reportedly kicking the tires on Mike Moustakas. How do you feel about that?
We need a bat, dude. We need to score a few more runs, and I think we can close out the division this year. If not, I do think we'll get a wild card spot.
Yeah, I'm looking at the East, and it's probably going to come down to the Phillies and Braves. The Nationals are, unless Bryce Harper gets hot, the Nationals are falling apart.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think they have enough bats. They have the pitching, and they don't have enough bats, and if Bryce Harper's not swinging the bat well, that team's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. Brian Dozier's interesting. This is a dude that hit 42 homers just a few years ago. Kind of surprising that he could potentially go to the Brewers, but again, the Brewers are another team in contention. They need a bat. I don't think I couldn't even tell you their second baseman. I think Villar, and I don't think he's near the bat Brian Dozier is. So that's kind of it. Last week's poll questions, we got a lot of activity for the LaShawn McCoy question. That's one thing I want to hear you talk about, because LaShawn McCoy, we talked about this last week. You weren't here last week, though. But LaShawn McCoy used to be in Philadelphia, and I believe we used to talk about him all the time when we worked at Chick-fil-A together, because the Phillies, I got baseball in the mind. The Eagles traded him to the Bills, and you were justifying that move almost the entire offseason. But now he's in trouble he's got allegations of domestic violence against him. I want to get your thoughts on that.
First of all that happened for a reason, because we won the Super Bowl. So doesn't matter who we traded or what we traded him for now. The whole Chip Kelly era didn't happen. But apparently he didn't do it. I want to believe that he didn't do it because that's my boy. So I'm hoping that he's innocent. But if he's not innocent, he should get in a lot of trouble for the family.
Do you, with this poll question, do you think he's done in the NFL?
I mean, it depends. He is either completely done, will never put on a helmet again, or
I should say that. If he's guilty, do you think he's done?
Yes, 100%. He'll never touch the field again.
I think so, too.
30 years old.
And I don't know. Did you say you read he didn't do it?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Like a robbery.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll see. I think I said it last week. I'm hoping it's not true. You hate to see something like this happen. And I'm not even a LaShawn McCoy fan, but it's not looking good for him. Hopefully we're wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the poll question, do you think LaShawn McCoy is done in the NFL after the domestic violence allegations coming out against him? 81% said no. I was really surprised by that.
Damn. Because I think that a lot of people read the same thing I did, that he didn't do it.
Probably. And I'm late to the party.
Yeah.
Do you think this is another Philadelphia Eagles connection for you, James? Do you think the Pro Football Hall of Fame should honor Terrell Owens even though he's not going to be at the ceremony next month?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't.
He earned it.
He's not going to be there.
So?
Why have a ceremony for him if he's not going to be there?
Because he earned it. He earned getting into the Hall of Fame. It's not like he bought
No, I hear you, but if you're not going to show up, why should we talk about you?
I don't blame them for not showing up because they all talk mad shit on him for years. Why are you going to show up and shake my hand?
They talk mad shit about him because he talked shit about them.
Dude, I wouldn't have went to that shit if I was him. Yeah, he's definitely a dickhead. Like, I'm not saying that he's, it's T.O., but they have talked mad shit on him. Like, I wouldn't go there either. The whole committee talked mad shit on him.
Because he was hating on the committee. It's just, that's what happens.
Well, I think he had grounds to hate on the committee. I think if you're top 5 in your position, all time, your first ballot Hall of Famer, and they didn't put him in.
Well, we actually talked about this on the show. The committee, for whatever reason, or the voters, don't like wide receivers. I don't know why that is. Not very many of them get in on their first or second year. Chris Carter waited almost a decade to get in. Randy Moss, I was shocked Randy Moss got in his first year on the ballot this year.
How are you shocked? He's the second best player at his position all time.
Because only 6 wide receivers have been selected on their first year on the ballot.
Yeah, but Randy Moss should be the 0th on the ballot because he's literally better than Jerry Rice. He just is a dickhead as well. Way more talented than Jerry Rice.
You're right about that. I think he's way more talented than Jerry Rice. Which player do you think will win the 2018 MLB Home Run Derby? 60% said Bryce Harper, who ended up being my boy Bryce Harper with his amazing hair. Yeah, I love Bryce Harper. Do you think EA Sports' NCAA football video game franchise will ever return? This is very surprising. 58% said yes. 58% of the people that voted are way more optimistic about it than I am. I don't know about you. Did you play a lot of NCAA football? Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm curious. You grew up in Delaware. There's no real team in Delaware other than the Blue Hens. You played with Penn State? God.
Michael Robinson.
Who?
He was the quarterback when they won the Rose Bowl back in the day. He was sick. Who was their running back that year? And I used to fuck with playing with Rutgers because they had
Ray Rice.
They had Ray Rice and someone else that was really sick too on the same team.
I don't know. They had another running back after Ray Rice that was pretty good. What was his name? Jawan.
And I used to use Texas sometimes because Texas was really sick at the time, early 2000s. Texas was really good.
So I'm curious, what brought you to WVU then if you played with Penn State all the time?
Well, I applied to only 2 schools, and it's pretty much because all my friends ended up going to WVU. Well, my mom's side of the family is also from West Virginia. So
are they? I didn't know that.
0 ties to the state.
I thought you had 0 ties. That's why I was always curious. But yeah, 58.
0 ties to university, though. It wasn't you know what I mean? I wouldn't say that my grandparents were WVU fans.
No, I get that. I'm curious. I was curious. That's why I asked who you played with because
for them. I don't even know.
I've heard you talk about this. You didn't really have a college team. You cheer for WVU, but you've said a million times, I'm not a WVU fan.
I said that?
I thought you did. I thought you said, I just went to WVU. I'm not a fan.
When I was younger or now?
Now, I felt like. Maybe not. Maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah, I definitely pull for WVU very hard.
Well, no, I know that you do. I just don't think you're as devoted as me, for instance, who was born in the state.
I'm definitely not as devoted to WVU football as I am the Eagles.
Well, no, I get that.
I can name all 53 players on the Eagles roster.
I could name all 53 players on Green Bay's roster.
Exactly.
I could tell you all 80 players on WVU's roster.
No, I couldn't even. Dude, I could probably name 10 players on WVU's roster.
Okay, now I'm curious. Yep. Name 10.
I don't even know if I could do that. No.
I'll give you one, Will Greer.
No, I don't want to get Sills, Jennings, Crawford.
Wait, Crawford's gone.
We lost we lost White.
Yep.
Don't we have a really good corner?
No.
No.
We got a good DB if you can remember his name, but he's not a corner.
We still have a good safety?
Kenny Robinson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kenny Robinson. But that's 4. Can you get 6 more?
Is Da'Keil Short still on the team?
No. God almighty. He's been gone for 3 years.
Dude, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Let's move on. If a NCAA football video game was released this year, which team do you think would be ranked number 1, 100% voted Alabama? Would you agree with that?
It might be Clemson this year, dude.
You make a compelling argument with Clemson. I think it'd be Alabama.
I would have probably have voted Alabama too, though. But that's why I said Clemson, because you can make a good argument for it. Their defensive line is is better than Alabama's.
Yep, and they're loaded with talent too, and they got a good quarterback. Well, I'll say good quarterback. Yeah,
that's what I know about college football. I don't know that many because they change so much. I know what corps are good though. Like I know when a team has good corners.
Yeah.
I know when a team has good backers, good D-line. Like just because you know what I mean. I read they're only usually if you're really good in college, you're only there for a year or two. Because you either redshirt your first year, play your sophomore, get drafted, or play freshman, sophomore, get drafted, or redshirt, sophomore, junior, get drafted. You know what I mean? Like, if you're really good, you're not staying in college too long, so it's hard to like keep all the.
Especially at the big programs, it seems like they are only there generally a year or two.
I can name more players on WVU basketball, which is ironic because
there's fewer players.
One, there's fewer players, but yeah, like basketball is the sport where people come for literally like 3 months to the college and then they get drafted and leave.
Not anymore. I think didn't the NBA get rid of the one and done rule?
No, I don't think so.
I think they did.
Dude, every player goes after their freshman year.
No, I think they just got rid of it a week ago.
That's terrible.
I think now that they can I think now they can recruit from high school.
That's sick. That's what they should do.
I hear you. I mean, but it's only going to affect maybe 10 guys. Dude, maybe 10, 15 guys in a decade, like tops. You think? I think the top 10 players in the country would easily go pro just to get some money.
Oh no, I think they'd go pro. I just don't think that a lot of those players would get drafted. Like, I don't think there's 10 players out of high school that would get drafted.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I think you're right about that. Yeah, you're right. I think
there's probably one player a year that someone would be like, yeah, I'm going to freaking give all this money to this, like, 17, 18-year-old kid. Like, it's going to have to be a special, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, LeBron James.
You're right. You're right. There probably will be just one, maybe 2, 3 guys who.
Yeah, think about it. Dude, every player who came out of high school ended up being great. Like, I can't name one that wasn't.
I couldn't even tell you the top player. I think this class it's Zion Williamson. I'm not even sure he'd make it in the NBA.
The top recruit, you mean? Or the top recruit? Oh, no, he was the second highest recruit.
Is he? Who's the first?
I don't remember.
You don't know?
He went to Duke, too, though.
Yeah, I know Duke's class, they have, 5 of the top 6 players.
Yeah.
But, so, final thoughts. We were running on. Wow, we took longer than I thought. 52 minutes. Final thoughts here. I don't really have anything, James, other than previewing our football segments coming up. We have brainstormed it. What's that? Training camp is here. That's next week, isn't it? Yep, should be next week. It's roughly the last week of July that all starts. But yeah, next week is a good time. I talked to you already. My friend's on board with doing a college football segment, just talking about media days and the preseason conference rankings that have come out, where our WVU Mountaineers are second in the Big 12 preseason poll. Feels extremely high to me.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
We have the only returning quarterback.
Yeah, I hear you. You give some good reasons. I'm just not sure, but we'll talk about that Monday.
I don't think the Big 12 is that strong this year.
No, I don't either.
Oklahoma, of course. Oklahoma's always a force, but
no, I don't either.
Oklahoma State is going to step way back. They've had Mason Rudolph there for the last 4 years.
No, I hear
doubt it. They're going to fall. That's usually the Texas might be pretty good this year, though.
I'm not as high on Texas. One, I need to see it happen. They've been hyping the Texas train since 2012 when we joined the conference, and they finished above 500 once or twice since then, maybe 3 times. But they don't have a quarterback. They lost their left tackle. They lost their best defensive player and some studs in the secondary. They don't have a run game either. Just tough to win in the Big 12 when you don't have a run game or a quarterback.
Yep, agreed.
But so, football segments. We've brainstormed about this. I think what we want to do is a division preview for all the NFL divisions, AFC East, North, South, West, and then same in the NFC. We'll just, not necessarily our predictions, but we just go through it, and break down, hey, Philly is going to be really good again. This is why. the Redskins probably aren't going to be very good. You know who's going to suck? The Miami Dolphins. Stuff like that.
Good.
Yeah. What else did I say? Top offensive teams, top defensive teams. We could even, I don't know. Did you have any brain? What's that?
Do that right now. I just want to see if I can come up with someone off the top of my head.
All right, fine. Top 10 offensive teams in the NFL.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Number 1, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
Number 2 is the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay.
Number 3 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 4 is the New England Patriots when Edelman is back. Number 5 is the Philadelphia Eagles, with Mike Wallace replacing Torrey Smith.
They signed Mike Wallace?
He's our number 2 receiver last year. Or this year.
I missed that.
Guard receiving year last year.
Golly, I'm burning up in this house. It's so hot. I agree with you. I think Pittsburgh is number 1. Rams at 2 is interesting. I thought about it. That's a compelling case with everyone they got. I'd rank the Falcons ahead of them at number 2, just because of the better quarterback in Matt Ryan. I'd probably put the Rams at 3. Kansas City at 3 is way too high, I think. Not with Patrick Mahomes. I need to see what he can do.
It's Andy Reid, bro.
I know, but I got to see it first, man. I got to see this new system. I wouldn't put him up there. Number 4.
He's going to do better than McNabb because McNabb never really had that great of an offense till the year he went to the Super Bowl. He always played with a really good defense and a pretty mediocre offense. But, dude, they have Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Kareem Hunt, decent O-line. Like, he'll be good.
I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I have to see it.
Put my legs in that basket.
What else did we? What else?
Forgot the Saints. I don't know. Yeah, dude,
I don't think the Saints are up there.
I gotta think this out.
I do too. But since you gave 5, I'll give 5. What did I say? Steelers, Falcons, Rams. I'd go. I think the Eagles are good. I'm not sure they're top 5.
We were top 5 in offense last year.
Yeah. You're
forgetting about that man under center.
No, I have not forgotten about Carson Wentz.
Oh, you have.
I love Carson Wentz almost as... Nah, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say almost as much as I love Aaron Rodgers, but that's not true.
I do.
Sure, I'll go Eagles and Patriots, 4 and 5. I can't think of a team right now.
All right, buddy.
All right, so yeah, we got some football stuff in the works. I promise we will get to it. Starting next week, training camp. Football, James, just around the corner. I know you're excited, man. All right.
Can't wait.
Good to have you back.
See you, buddy.
Yep, see ya.